If there are two words that everyone has been talking about over the last 12 months, it's airdrops and restaking. Today, what we're going to do is combine both of them and talk about some of the different airdrops that you can get farming liquid restaking protocols. So we've got a lot to cover today. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Now, EigenLayer is the pioneer of restaking. For those of you who don't know what restaking is, I'll give you a brief primer right now, but essentially it's using Ethereum's amazing security to help secure other layers via restaking your Ethereum. Now, I've done a deep dive on EigenLayer and talked about it many times, so please go and watch my deep dive on it if you want to learn more about it. But today what we're going to do is focus on how you can participate in the restaking ecosystem, how you can restake your ETH, and how you can get potentially some very big airdrops. And I'm talking about 4, 5, even potentially 6 figures, depending on your size. Now, if you look at Defi Lama, you'll actually find that the EigenLayer is now like the second biggest app in DeFi today. It's growing at a ridiculous rate, currently at $11 billion of total value locked. And if I'm being honest, I think that number is just going to continue to go up only. Why do I think the number is going to go up only? Because I think people are speculating. There's so many different airdrops to potentially get from this. I think a lot of people have the appetite for it. Now, I'm not going to talk about the risks with restaking today. You can actually find that out in my deep dive as well. What we're going to do is we're just going to talk about the restaking space. And you can see like within just a few months, we've gone from pretty much no TVL to like 7 billion in the liquid. Now, what you can see is if we look at the liquid restaking TVL over time, we've gone from pretty much no TVL to pretty much 6.7, almost $7 billion in total value locked. And you can see there are a number of protocols here that are participating. We're going to talk about just some of them today that you can use, how you can use them, and some of the different strategies that you can get, that you can use, I should say, to farm some pretty good airdrops. So without further ado, let's first of all talk about the first one. This is Renzo. Renzo currently has over $1 billion restaked. It's pretty simple to use. You go to the Renzo protocol application and you simply just restake your ETH. And when you restake your ETH, you get ETH, which is your liquid restaking token. Now, you can use that in DeFi at the moment. Unfortunately, you can't actually withdraw. So please remember that. You are also taking on the smart contract risk here. But essentially, all you do is you just decide which asset you want to deposit, being ETH, Binance ETH, or Lido's ST ETH. Now, you can actually use Renzo on a variety of other chains. You don't have to just use ETH mainnet. So you can actually use Arbitrum, BSC, Mode, and Linear, the two tokenless layer 2 chains. So if you kind of wanted to farm 2 in 1, let's say if you wanted to farm Mode, the tokenless layer 2 chain, and you wanted to farm Renzo, you can do so just like that. So like if you've got some ETH on the Mode network, again, just basically deposit it directly here, you'll get returned to ETH. Of course, the slippage does depend on like the chain. So like Mode maybe isn't the best in terms of liquidity. So like perhaps on Arbitrum, you'll find it a little bit better. Yeah, you will. And then maybe on ETH mainnet, like you'll find that you'll have like the best slippage and liquidity. However, you do have to pay gas fees here. So that's pretty much all you have to do. And what you'll find is if you go to your portfolio over time is that you will start getting EigenLayer points and Renzo points as well. And we're speculating on the idea that EigenLayer is going to be a massive airdrop in itself. I think EigenLayer could be maybe 20 billion or 30 billion in TVL, or in fully diluted valuation, I should say. And also Renzo points as well. And you know, Renzo will have a governance token. And so essentially we're farming 2 airdrops in one here, and that could be very valuable. And of course, you are earning staking APR as well. So I'll leave my referral link in the description below, and you can kind of play around and have a look at Renzo. If you do decide to stake, you don't have to use my referral link. If you do use it, I do get some extra points, which does help me out as well. So let's move on to the next one. This is called Kelp. Again, pretty much the exact same thing. You basically deposit your ETH, and you basically get RS ETH, which is like the liquid restaking token for Kelp. Again, exactly the same principle. You get, if you go to the dashboard, you'll get your EigenLayer points and you'll get Kelp miles. Now, you can actually get Kelp miles by restaking on Kelp, but also using a variety of DeFi applications that has integrated RS ETH. So Uniswap, Pendle, Curve, Balancer, Prisma, like a whole bunch of different apps here. So you can go and use your restaked RS ETH. So for example, let's say if I deposit 1 ETH, I'm going to get like 1 RS ETH. You'll be able to see your RS ETH balance right there. Look, you can see there is a little bit of slippage here, and there is like a maximum deposit of 420 ETH. But you know, if you've got 420 ETH, what are you watching my videos for? So yeah, you can use Kelp, and you can basically get Kelp points and Eigenlayer points. Hopefully a big airdrop for you as well. I've talked about Kelp on the channel before, so please go and have a look at that. You'll find that Kelp is a really interesting one, and they're really focusing on kind of bringing these integrations in DeFi, and you can see some of them here, like some of the different liquidity pools. You can see like a lot of people are using Kelp on Pendor, for example, PenP as well, and there is a growing pool on Curve and Balancer and Uniswap as well. So go and check it out, and you'll find there's some benefits there. I will again leave my referral link. Again, it benefits me, but you don't have to use it if you don't want to. Next, we'll talk about EtherFi. EtherFi actually had an airdrop this week. However, they are going to have multiple airdrops. And I'll tell you something crazy. EtherFi dropped at a $5 billion valuation. Now, if EtherFi is at $5 billion, what's the Eigenlayer going to be at? Potentially 10x that. Who knows? I think it'll be 20 billion plus, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, EtherFi has like $3 billion of total value locked, probably the biggest liquid restaking protocol around. Again, works in exactly the same way. You go to EtherFi, if you've got some ETH, you just literally deposit it in and you get ETH, which is the liquid restaking token for EtherFi. You can again go in DeFi and use it in a variety of different strategies, Balancer, Pendle, Curve, Gearbox, the usual really, and play around there. But ultimately, if you want to farm it, basically you just need to restake your ETH into ETH, and that's pretty much it. And you're going to be getting EtherFi points, and you're going to be getting Eigenlayer points. So pretty much the same as Renzo and Kelp. Same thing here with EtherFi. Moving on, number 4, we've got Puffer Finance, or Puffer, I should say, Puffer.fi. Pretty much exactly the same here. You earn points every hour for every Puff ETH that you hold, or 60 points when you're providing liquidity. Actually, again, works exactly the same way. You get Puffer points and you get Eigenlayer points as well. Now, they have like a variety of other point systems. They've really kind of tried to pointify it, if you can even call that something. And so you will be able to track your points directly here, and they will hopefully go up over time as you hold Puff ETH, or if you provide liquidity for Puff ETH. And you can see if we go here, like Puffer Finance is actually the second largest with $1.3 billion of total value locked. So EtherFi, like just under 3 billion, Pufferfi 1.3 billion, Renzo 1.26 billion, Kelp 685 billion. So the 4 that we've talked about so far, absolutely massive. Next, we're going to talk about some interesting ones. So we've got Mitosis, which is actually in testnet. It's not actually live right now, so you can actually play around with this with fake testnet money. I believe you have to use one of the Ethereum testnet networks. I can't remember which one it is at the moment. I think it's let me see. I'm not sure which. It's one of the ETH testnets. For some reason, it doesn't say on screen right now. But again, like you basically get some ETH on the testnet, which is actually EtherFi, and you can kind of restake that over here. So yeah, they seem to be like this liquid restaking protocol with like cross-chain compatibility, where you can kind of get Eigenlayer points, EtherFi points, and then like Mito points as well when their mainnet comes out. It's not actually out yet, but you can actually still get points. So this might be one that you might want to airdrop farm a little bit. So I will leave a link to this in the description below. Again, you don't have to use real money for this one because it's on testnet, so that is a good thing. But yeah, definitely would recommend checking out Mitosis. And then the last 2 are kind of newer restaking protocols. This one's called Inception. If you go to restaking, you can basically restake any of the like big liquid staking protocols: Lido, Frax, Mantle, Stader, Rocket Pool, Swell. We've got Anchor, Origin. We've got Coinbase and Binance as well. Like, they don't have much TVL, so please bear that in mind. This is a very new protocol. But again, you can get InceptionLRT totems. So not points, totems, and of course Eigenlayer points, which is hopefully going to be worth something in the near future too. And then lastly, we've got Genesis. Again, another new one. I'll be honest, I'm not really a fan of this user interface. But again, basically, if you stake 1 ETH, you get Gen ETH. I believe here you can actually unstake. So this is one of the protocols where you can actually unstake. Many of the others you can't. It does take 8 to 16 days though, so please bear that in mind. But again, like, you will get points. You will get you can refer people. So yeah, you get gems over here, and you also get eigenlayer points. So yeah, just another way, same thing as always, like we've talked about with all of these. Now, the last two are really, really interesting. Now, they are not actually restaking protocols, but protocols that we've talked about many times, Pendle and Gearbox. And on Pendle, you can actually get leveraged exposure to these points if you really wanted to. And so if you wanted to get leveraged exposure to like EZ points, which we can see like Renzo's EZ points, or if you wanted to get leveraged exposure to like Kelp miles, you can actually do that on Pendor, and you can do that by buying these yield tokens on Pendor, like EZETH, RSETH, PuffETH, and you can see on screen that you are actually getting a multiplier in terms of your points. Perhaps that's something that you're interested in. So yeah, I will leave a link to Pendle as well. Points trading is pretty popular at the moment. Likewise, on Gearbox, you can get leveraged exposure to both EtherFi and Renzo. They have like this one-click ape system where with their credit accounts, you can, let's say if you had 10 ETH, you could deposit that. You can basically get 5x leverage or even 10x leverage, and you can basically get 10x or 5x leverage on your eigenlayer or Renzo points here. You will obviously be paying a borrow rate, which is currently around 28%. However, that 28% could be offset with the massive airdrop that you get because you are leveraging up with obviously Renzo and eigenlayer points. So those points could make up for that massively, especially if you get a nice airdrop. So that's pretty much it. We covered Renzo, Kelp, EtherFi, Puffer Finance, Mitosis, Inception, Genesis, Pendle, and Gearbox. Yeah, let me know which one you like. At the moment, I have my ETH in Renzo and Kelp. I don't obviously have my ETH in all of them. I think I would be fragmenting myself a little bit too much, and I would like to concentrate my bets a little bit. So Renzo and Kelp are where I have the majority of my restaked ETH at the moment. But I think the restaking game is changing massively week by week. There are new strategies, new protocols, new points, new airdrops coming for you. Hopefully you found this video useful. Hopefully you get some big airdrops from these different protocols.